Guys, I want to get loud all of a sudden.
Do it.
Sorry, I'm going to.
It's you. I knew it was coming.
I'm sorry, guys, but I need to do that.
It is. You feel like Poseidon chucking that bugger down.
Chucking that bugger. Did you butt out that deer?
I did not butt out that deer, but the next one I get, okay, it's getting its butt out.
Is that little Stevie out here in the back?
Drobop. Bow drop, I'm sorry. Drobop. Hello. Stay tuned. I'll be back after my seizure.
Every little chipmunk that was running around, everything's dead quiet, and I went, like, that just happened.
I saw what is in essence a nature-gasm.
Good evening, everybody. Pull up a stump and gather around the Sonic campfire. You are gathered with the Rutten River Pursuits podcast crew once again. This is Uncle Buck.
I'm Will.
I'm Steve.
I'm Dave.
I'm Catfish.
Hey, I'm Ryan.
How's it going, guys?
It's a good day, bud.
Good, buddy.
All right.
I got my stump all pulled up here.
You got your stump?
Yeah.
Did you debark your stump?
I didn't.
Okay. Mine's not. Mine still has the
kinda-
bark on it.
I like to cut my name into my stuff.
Kind of a girly thing to do.
Did you put a heart around it, Catfish?
I did, actually.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, it's...
I figured I'd try to, kind of be a little bit more,
Church it up.
not church it up.
Don't church it up, son.
Unique it up a little bit. It's all, it's the same thing. Not the same thing, but,
Hey, Phil, you know how you catch a unique rabbit?
unique up on it.
Do you know how to catch a tame one?
Tame way.
Same way, unique up
I'm
on
done.
it.
I've never heard that. But I didn't really laugh.
Oh, golly.
You've never been to second
'cause it
grade.
wasn't
Well,
funny.
Okay.
should I just jump into it? Speaking of nothing to laugh at,
Yeah, so, what do we got going on?
we've got a fly guide that's not anything to laugh at, and if you're on Instagram, you might already know of her, Captain Kacee Bones,
Nice.
Hey, Case, are you there?
From Texas.
straight from South Texas.
Hi, Kacee.
Kacee.
Coming to you live from South Texas
Skyways
with
and
my
byways.
tacos.
Me and the Skyways and Byways. Yeah, that's right.
Awesome. Well, it's awesome to have you on the show. I can't
Thanks
wait.
for having me.
Yeah. I can't wait to dive into this. I know we definitely follow you on Instagram, some of your social media properties. Your big thing is the Redfish. I mean, it just seems like they get you have the best time. I mean, you can tell that they're everywhere down there. And at least it looks like it to me.
Yeah, we take a lot of pictures. We just got hit with a hurricane, right? So Hurricane Harvey came through and made a direct landfall here in Rockport, Texas. And it changed up the fishery a little bit, but as far as winter fishing goes right now, it was a little bit of a struggle right after the hurricane. It took a little while for everything to kind of calm down and get back to normal. And then we had this super crazy, gnarly, high tide. It came in 4 feet. It seemed like
Wow.
nothing. This was after the hurricane. This was 2 months after the hurricane. And it had this North American gyre that I read about. I don't even know what that meant. I thought about gyre and I thought about gyrating.
What?
I'm like, I've
Mick
never
Jagger?
heard of that. I've never heard of that before in my life. But so this hurricane just kind of developed in the month of October, and it brought in this really crazy high tide. And then we had the harvest moon tide that happens every year. So with the gyre on top of the moon tide, it came up really crazy, and it was rough fishing for a little bit, but it kind of seems like we're getting back to normal based on the last few trips that I've had.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's great.
We have a gyre here, too. We actually have that same terminology. I think it means something different. That's normally where we catch a nice fish and you get pushed into the water from Stevie because he's trying to take your spot.
Yeah. He's just a big gyre about it.
It gets pretty gyre.
yeah, that's
What
kind
can
of
I
how
say?
it felt. I felt so bad because I had clients that week, and I say clients. It was my friend Jason from California, and he flew down to Redfish, and I had no idea
wow.
that this was going to happen. And I'm pulling the boat in a lake that would usually be maybe a foot deep on a high tide. And it was like 4 feet deep. So I parked the boat and I made him get out in his wading boots, and we walked for like half a mile to the skinniest water we could find. And sure enough, there were the redfish, just super skinny. Because they were getting into grass that is now dead in the salt. So, that the water came up so high that they were able to get into the salt wort. It's a type of grass that we have, and the redfish like it a lot. And it's mostly dead inside of the lake. So when the tide comes up, you can almost guarantee that you're going to find the fish, super skinny.
Let's say hypothetically that I don't know anything about fly fishing.
Yeah, right?
Or
Okay, hypothetically, you don't know anything about
say
that.
hypothetically, I don't know.
Case, just go with this.
Yeah, I don't. Hypothetically, I don't know anything about red fishing.
Right.
We like to say, give us a 50,000-foot view of, like, where do you typically, like, where's redfish like to hide? What are you looking for when you take your clients
I'm not telling you any
out?
of that because then I'd be out of a job. I'm not saying anything.
In the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she just
that is valuable. That is valuable information.
And she just said that on a high tide, they like to get up in that salt grass.
Super skinny.
Well, I don't know hypothetically, I don't know what that is either. So that's what I'm saying.
But I need to follow up with what exactly do you mean by super skinny? That sounds like some fly fishing
so I'll
term.
give you an example.
Kacee.
I pulled my client around yesterday in water that was too skinny for my boat, and my boat drug the bottom.
Gotcha.
And Kacee, you're running specialized boats to run skinny. Like, you guys have some crazy cool boats down there. Like,
yeah.
If you want to maybe touch on that, because that's how you get around. And I think that's completely unique to the U.S. of how you guys fish to start with, even getting to your spot.
Yeah, it's a polling skiff. So that they are unique, and they're designed to run in really shallow water, and they're designed to float in really shallow water, and they're really cool. You can get some that don't float in much, and you can get some that are too heavy, and you're stuck.
So they're not a John boat; they're a specialized.
No, they're not a John boat. And it's crazy because the development of pulling skiffs nowadays is the technology and the design and the engineering of these boats it's surpassed anything that we've seen before. So it's pretty incredible.
It's not pulling, it's polling, right? So not Pulling.
Like you're pushing with a pull.
No.
Pushing with a pull, right? So you're standing on a platform.
Unless you're in a heavy pulling skiff and you're stuck, then you're pulling.
Now,
No, it's polling, like with a pole.
Do you serenade your clients then as you're going along?
They're not in Vienna, they're in Texas.
Unless me calling out times and
Oh, okay.
12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, unless
Gotcha.
that's the serenade. And if it's a fly angler who's has any kind of experience on their boat, that's probably a really good noise to hear. So,
Did you have any issues with the hurricane coming? Did you have any property
yeah,
boats and stuff
we did.
like that?
We did have hurricane damage. We did. Thankfully, we didn't lose our house. We did sustain some roof damage. We sustained some damage to our boats, and but we have a roof, and we're well. Unfortunately, for a lot of our community, the majority of our community lost everything, if not, the half of their home.
Wow.
So yeah, it's been pretty rough. We're still in recovery stage, and we're going to be for a long time.
Wow.
So you're going to run some skinny water. You're going to pull your clients around.
Push pull. Yes, I'm gonna pull. I'm gonna pull my clients.
Yeah, okay. And then you'll anchor up or kind of beach the boat, and then you'll what we call up here wet wade through to other spots also, correct?
No, I only did that one time on the high tide.
Okay.
I typically just pull my boat the entire time. 99.99999% of the time, my client doesn't get off the boat unless I ask him to.
Yeah.
I will hump it across something that is too skinny for my boat to keep my client from getting off the boat, because you never want your client to get off the boat. I don't want to get off the boat. It sucks.
Yeah.
There's oysters and stingrays and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't want to push it. I want to pull it. You know, I don't want to pull my boat. I want to pull my boat.
Can you shoot those
You know what I'm
stingrays
saying?
down there?
Yeah, we get stingrays in the flats.
Can you shoot them with like bows?
I don't know. I don't really condone any of that,
Gotcha.
but I mean, I guess people do that.
All right.
I don't think it's a thing down here
not
like
yet.
it is
It's
in
a hobby.
other places.
Do you wear shin pads to protect from like if you would step on a stingray and then the spine would come up? Do you wear like a shin pad?
Shin pads?
This ain't soccer, bud.
Oh, come on.
Come on.
Dude, I'm in less than 8 inches of water. If my
Do you wear a helmet in case you fall off the boat?
Have you seen her pictures, like holding snapping turtles and all? She's worried about.
Lots of shin pads.
I was holding, it wasn't a snapping turtle. Oh, it wasn't snapping. No, it was a red-eared slider and a box turtle.
Well, it could have been a snapping turtle.
You would have held it all the same. I understand.
So there are probably easier ways out there to catch redfish than fly fishing. You use gulps or throw a chunk of crab out or something like that. What is it that drives you to fly fish for these things?
That's an important question that I haven't been asked, and I'm
Good
more than
question,
certain
Steve.
I think I can give you an answer to that. Because as a young kid, I started out bait fishing with my grandfather during the summers.
Yeah.
And then as I got older, I started fishing artificial lures and stuff with a spinning rod and a bait caster. And then I kind of had this natural progression into fly fishing. And my husband now actually asked me out on a date on his boat and asked me if I wanted to learn to fly fish. And I'm that kind of person where it's like all or nothing, you know?
Yeah.
If I find, it's like me and my shotguns. And, you know, my dad tried to buy me a Benelli for my birthday, and I thought that was sweet and all, but I'm like, you know, screw the $1,000 gun. I want the $350 1187, you know, because I like what I
Nice.
like.
That's
And
cool.
so when I picked up fly fishing for the first time, I realized I really like this. This was something that was mentally challenging. It was physically challenging. It was emotionally challenging.
Yeah.
Everything kind of played a role into it. And it took me, no joke, 3 months to learn how to cast. Okay, not good, but at least to get the fly 30 feet to a fish. And it took me that long to catch my redfish on fly.
That's pretty good.
And once I did, it was kind of like, okay. Then I started catching a bunch of fish. And then I started, and then as time went on, it became, well, I want to learn how to tie the flies, and I want to learn how to use the rod the correct way, and I want to know how to run the boat, and I want to learn how to pull the boat. And I did. And I took a lot of time and like 4 or 5 days a week doing all of these things for a while.
Just dissecting
so-
all of it.
Yeah.
Every little aspect.
Yeah. Yes. Until I just decided, fly fishing to me is like bow hunting. It is. And here's why. It's like you have to be quiet. You have to, it's hunting in a way where you have to put the fly right in front of the fish, and you have to feed the fish. It's not you just put the fly in front of the fish and then the fish finds the fly and it eats it. No, there's a certain way to manipulate how the fish moves, when to manipulate it. Then there's the strip set, and and then it's landing the fish. and then you get this really amazing opportunity to let it go. And so there are a lot of cool aspects that come with fly fishing, but the best thing that I can compare it to is hunting with a bow. You know, you got to get really close.
Guys around the table, do you know what fly fishing for redfish sounds like? If we were to relate that to northeast fishing, what does that remind you of? Anybody?
Well, trout, probably.
Yeah. There's that natural progression up here where we'll start. You know, most people start with baits and then lures, and then it just kind of leads you into fly fishing, and that, you know, that's interesting how for you
matching the hatch.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting how for you down south where you're.
I'm going to tell you what, dudes. I could throw a freaking Barbie doll hair at these fish and they'll eat.
Okay, so I take it back.
Shout on.
Do you take a deposit? Like, do you need half down or what?
Well, you asked me, here's the thing. You asked me about how I felt about fly fishing. You didn't ask me about how redfish feel about the fly.
Well, we'll get there. Now that you bring it up, Kacee.
Stevie, do you do a lot of fly fishing up here, though?
I'm terrible at it. I mean, I have a really good...
Just based on her description, though, I figured that would be perfect for you, because if anybody out of the group is up to being mentally challenged, like, it would be you.
Yeah,
bless your heart.
You're totally challenged.
I'm terrible at it. You know, like she said, Kacee said it took her... What would you say, 30 days or something like that to get
3 months.
Or 3 months. That I've been fly fishing for years. I have one of the most expensive, best rods I own is a fly fishing rod, and I'm terrible at it. Terrible. So
maybe you should hide the rest of your rods. And only
easy now, but it's not that important.
And push that envelope.
Yeah, I've heard that before, but. I don't know. So let's talk about the flies and the redfish, Kacee.
Okay.
The story of the redfish.
Okay. It's funny because we were talking a little bit ago about how you couldn't remember that guy's name who like created that fly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Dahlberg diver.
Yeah, we talked about that offline. Yeah.
Yeah. So my personal favorite fly to tie, which is super easy, and it's my go-to because I know that well, let me give you a little bit of attitude about the redfish.
Of course, attitude it up.
Around the world and back again, please.
Altitude.
Redfish are super aggressive in nature. You know, like they're opportunists. They look really sweet in my pictures probably because they're helpless and out of the water and like, put me back.
They look very docile.
Not the one with the heart on its tail, at least.
Yeah. And then you get your peace and love redfish, and those are pretty great too.
Yeah.
But if you ever get a chance to see these fish eat super skinny, it's no joke. They don't mess around. They thrash through the water. They have teeth. They have these really tough crushers in the back of their mouth. I mean, we're talking about fish who will take a blue crab in their mouth and chomp it once in half and then spit it out and then eat it again. So
they're no joke.
They're incredibly aggressive.
So you're talking we need to tie a blue crab?
Yeah.
No. What I'm saying is if you put food in front of their face or anything that they think is food in front of their face, they're going to eat it.
Yeah.
I'm going to get my fly guy on that blue crab fly.
So back to flies and the fly that I like tying. So my favorite one was designed by Andy Packmore. And it's called the crack fly, the redfish crack fly.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's called the crack fly because it was designed by Andy Packmore, but it's kind of the running joke that it's like redfish crack, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Enough of it?
Yeah, I got that right away. These guys are slow.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So we've joked a couple times, and we're like, we should rename it like the my husband and I were sitting talking about it. He was telling me the story, and he was like, "Yeah, it'd be funny if we named it like Packmore Crack." Because it's Packmore.
Yeah.
You got to pack more crack. That's a good one.
I love it.
What's the fly look like?
Sean has one called salmon candy.
Oh,
but we'll
God,
need it.
what-
We'll have to call you next time Sean needs a fly named. He has one called salmon candy.
Steelhead candy.
Steelhead candy.
Yeah.
But
God,
yeah.
what does it look like? It looks like a like a cotton swab after you've used it in your ear, and it's like,
Yeah.
you know how the cotton swab starts tearing apart and
Pristine
it gets all
and white.
fuzzy?
Yes.
That's what the head of it looks like.
So what?
Sounds gross.
What does it?
Is this before or after deer season?
What is it supposed to, or what is it mimicking? The fly.
Okay, so it's a bait fish pattern, but
Okay.
it moves a lot of water. So redfish see from the side, right?
Okay.
And they feel. So anything that you're going to throw that's going to move water that's remotely close to them, they can feel. So that's important to have.
So you're gonna strip that fly across, like are you gonna try to like move that fly
It
across?
depends. It depends on what the fish is doing. If the fish is tailing, you want to put it, on their nose, basically.
Okay.
And then if the fish is swimming, you're going to want to lead them half a foot to a foot and wait for them and strip it in front of their face and make sure that it goes at the correct angle where, a fish swimming away is a low percentage fish to catch. A fish swimming to you is a great opportunity. And a fish swimming at like across from you at a 90-degree angle, that's a good one too, because you can just make a straight cast, and as long as the fish crosses where that fish can see it, that fish is going to eat.
Nice.
Does it help or hurt? Like, what's better weather conditions? Do you like the tiniest bit of ripple on the water, or just straight flat calm?
That's a really good question, because I prefer a little bit of ripple. It allows you to get away with some mistakes, and it's a little more forgiving. When it's completely slicked off like it was today, there is no room for error. The line, the fish can feel the line, depending on how hungry they are and their behavior. You can throw, today my client actually, he threw some casts that were really good casts, but because it was so slicked off, the fish spooked and they didn't eat.
Yeah.
And so the ripple in the water kind of creates that, the fly can land and the fish can either feel it or see it or, hear it, whatever. I don't know if fish hear or not.
Yeah.
I haven't really researched if redfish can hear. I guess they can.
Yeah. Well, if you think that was a good question, I got an even better one.
What?
Nice.
Where exactly do you target these fish? Tell people exactly where you can find these.
GPS coordinates if you can.
A couple GPS coordinates of where we can fish. No, honestly though, my question is like when you go out and you're pulling your boat, is there like a depth you try to stay in? Is it always skinny water, or can you catch them up to like 6 feet, or
Well, my boat has a 21-foot pole, so I can pole through some deep stuff, but unless the fish are really high, like in Louisiana, I know that the water is a little bit deeper in some places, but the redfish float in the top.
Yeah, man.
Where here it's mostly all pulling flats and skinny water stuff.
Gotcha.
So,
now being hot in Texas, are these the type of fish that would go seek shade during the day, or are they just loving being out in the sun?
No, they love the sun.
Yeah.
Well, during the summer, they will go to deeper water because it's cooler and it does get hot. fall fishing is probably some of the best fishing we have here in Texas. When we start getting the cold fronts and the water starts dropping temperature, that's when the fish really start coming up onto the flats, and they're hungry, and so summertime is good fishing. The beautiful thing about South Texas and red fishing on the flats, anyways, is that it's year round. You catch them year round here. This isn't like tarpon fishing in Florida, or it's not. They're not a migratory fish. They're resident fish. And they're eating all the time, and they're not leaving. At the end of the summer, we do have where the redfish leave the flats and they go out and they spawn and then they come back. But with that being said, you still have juvenile fish that are still in the flat.
Well, the juveniles or the adults, do these redfish have any natural predators? Does anything eat them? Like
dolphins?
Yeah.
Yeah, dolphins. Depending on the size of the redfish, you could run into an osprey. That'll pick up a small redfish. There's a lot of sharks.
Is that a common occurrence?
Dolphins. It's pretty crazy to watch the dolphins get a hold of a redfish and throw them around like chew toys.
People call that dolphin candy.
Dolphin candy. red dolphin candy.
I call it a dolphin squeak toy.
Dolphin crack.
Redfish
I have
make
a
this
fly I
odd
use
squeaky
for
noise.
dolphins.
Dolphins are pretty amazing swimmers. I'm pretty sure, these redfish look like a strong, stouty fish, but I don't know much in the water that can outswim a dolphin.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. The adult dolphins, when they teach their young to hunt, they'll school up some redfish and they will teach them how to hunt that way. And there are a lot of fish that make it away, because I've caught a couple who have been caught by dolphins.
Are dolphins and sharks like a common occurrence to see where you're at?
Dolphins are really common near the flats. Sharks, on the other hand, not so much.
That's got to be amazing in 4 to 6 foot of water. If you're watching these adult dolphins teaching the young how to hunt, and they're schooling up redfish,
and they mate, and that is even more entertaining.
I bet. Well.
You got Uncle Buck's attention.
You ruffled.
We don't want to ruin our G rating here, guys. I just wanted to.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I'm totally joking. No, do go on.
Say it again, but say it slower.
In the time we've been doing this podcast, I've never seen Uncle Buck perk up as much as dolphin procreation. Like, you just flipped up out of your chair.
Yeah, he just blew out his blowhole.
She's talking about dolphins.
I about gave myself whiplash getting up to the mic.
That was a good one, Kacee.
Oh, my God.
I'm serious. I will stop my boat in the middle of the bay. I don't care how windy it is. If that is going on, I'm watching.
You and me, baby, ain't nothing but mammals.
Yeah, that's great. That's something I can honestly say that we don't have here in Pennsylvania. We don't have that common occurrence of watching sea creatures go at it, but you can hear the raccoons at night get pretty frisky on the islands out in the river. They sound like they're killing each other.
Buckman.
They do that at my house, too.
Uncle Buck has the humping of squirrels.
I can't help it.
So, Kacee, can you give us kind of the timeline on your guide service, and what caused you to what was your interest in starting the service to begin with?
So I'm a first-year guide now, and
Really?
hopefully I'll be a second-year guide next year.
That's awesome.
Keep giving those dolphin tours. I guarantee you they're coming back.
Yeah.
God, I hope you guys edit that out. Anyways, so it's my
Not at all.
It's my first year, and it's been good though.
It looks
my
like it.
inspiration behind it was I fell in love with fly fishing. and it wasn't just about me catching fish all the time. I love catching fish. I've caught hundreds of fish on fly. I love it. I've traveled the world catching fish on fly. And there is absolutely nothing like sharing the experience with someone who, is an expert, or, someone who's a novice, or someone who's never even picked up a fly rod. There's just nothing like it. And I know I keep talking about my client today, but my client today fly fishes all the time, and he books guides all the time. But, he even said it. He the first fish he casted at that was tailing, he thanked me, and he was like, "Thank you." So he didn't even land the fish.
Yeah.
And, he had anxiety, and, he's got buck fever up there, or redfish fever, whatever you want to call it.
Did he have a shaky leg?
He ended up a stanky leg, or a shaky leg?
A shaky leg. That buck fever shaky leg.
Sewing machine leg, yeah.
Well, you use both arms, your brain, and your eyes, and so you're multitasking times 10.
Yeah.
And then you're trying to control where your fly line's going. So yeah, it's a lot of stuff going on all at once, and it can make a person have a lot of anxiety. Whether you've done it, I still get the fever up there. I still blow shots all the time, and So, but my client said to me, he cast out at this fish. The fish ate, and he just strip set a little too early on the first fish, and unfortunately, he didn't hook the fish. And he turned around and he looked at me, and he was shaking, and he was like, "Thank you so much." And I'm like, awesome. "Okay, we're gonna get another one. Don't worry about it." And we got more than 20 fish to the boat today.
Wow.
Dang.
Wow.
So, that's an accomplishment for a fly angler. That's a damn good day.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know if I can use the word
Oh,
damn.
throw them out there.
So
Okay.
Just that word. Don't go too crazy.
We've had Englishmen on here before, and thank goodness they almost speak a different language.
The Queen's English.
The Queen's English.
So did you just wake up one day and say, "I'm going to do this. I'm jumping, going in full bore. I'm going to be a fly fishing guide"?
No, I didn't. I was an engineering student for a while.
Really?
And I wanted, every time I was in class, I was sitting there thinking about how I could be in the outdoors.
Yeah, engineering school do that to you.
How am I going to make it in the outdoors?
Yeah, none of us go to work every day and dream about being outside.
In fact, I'd say don't even get me close to a window.
Yeah. So
You get a jump, Phil?
I quit.
I might.
I quit what I was doing, and I just decided, once I picked up this passion and I loved it so much, there was something in my gut. And so I felt like if I pursued it, I could, see what happened. And I didn't know if I was going to be successful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't know if I was going to fail as a fly fishing guide. I'm the only female right now on the entire Texas coast for saltwater fly fishing. And so that was intimidating to begin with. Yeah. And then being new at fly fishing still, and having people respect me, or having people look at me like I'm capable, was difficult. And I'm a woman. And I don't know if you guys know the term misogyny, but it is very real, and it exists.
I got a misogyny the other day.
Does that cost $30 extra?
No, it's the same price.
No.
That is Latin for dolphin time.
When I saw you leaning into the mic, Will, I knew what was coming.
Misogyny.
He was like, everybody sit back, because I got this.
Hold my beer.
I like it when she massaging me.
So, that kind of.
I'm sorry, I'm dying.
Oh, she went full Stevie on you.
we broke her.
It's okay,
Crack.
Casey.
Okay. Oh, man. That was so good.
It's always a good night when a
You had
little
a
pea comes
50-50
out when you
chance on
laugh.
that, bud.
We know all about what you're talking about. So, having said that,
Where were we?
Well, I was just saying that intimidation factor is. I don't know. It's the good old boys club, and that's not necessarily the case anymore.
No, it's not.
No, and I wouldn't. I think that this is a really, really cool time, and if like your Instagram, I'm intimidated as a dude looking at your Instagram with all the fish that you're catching and the things. That's.
We have an amazing woman up here on the river that is a new monster catfish guide. Being around the guides up here for the last 20 years on the river it's been just dominated by males. And this girl that has come in now, the catfish queen, as I call her, she's not only an amazing guide, but she's an amazing fisherman, and she knows what she's doing. A guide can ruin a perfectly good day of fishing if he's got an attitude. And,
right.
She is just a general sweetheart of a girl that can rip these 40, 50-pound fish out of the water with the best of them. And I'm really happy to see that she's not intimidated, because there's some pretty hardcore fishermen up here that are territorial, because we don't have all the area you have to fish.
That's everywhere.
You're right. Yep. So you get the territorialness down there as well.
It's everywhere. Oh, absolutely.
Well, now I understand why you don't want to tell me where you're fishing.
I mean, just imagine coming up as a new guide, being a female amongst men, a few men who have been here for 20 years, who have basically developed the fishery for fly fishing. I'm covered in tattoos. I have piercings. I'm a little bit out of the norm. I just had an article, David Sykes, who is an award-winning outdoor writer. He came and fished with me, and he wrote an article, and his whole thing was that I'm not your grandfather's fly guide. And it's true. It's not that I'm hard on the boat. I'm really not. I have a lot of patience, and I have a lot of positivity to offer to my clients and to anyone on the front of my boat. I don't care who you are. Whether you're a paying person or whether you're my friend or whatever.
Some podcast crew.
I want you to catch a fish, and I think that is not that doesn't allow your sex to be involved. Gotcha. It doesn't matter if you're male or female.
Well, I honestly, personally,
somebody's up there putting you on fish.
Yeah.
And they want you to catch a fish. You better believe and trust that person that they know what they're doing.
When I was saying before the podcast too, personally, I've never fly fished. I am interested in it, although I won't tell our buddy Sean.
Are you fly curious?
I'm fly curious, but
That's
there's.
I see what you did
so
there.
Funny.
I was saving that all day. By the way,
dude, I'm fishing on Thanksgiving Day. I'm alone for Thanksgiving, by the way. What? My family left to Conroe while I could stay here and work and guide. This is like the best fishing,
Yeah.
I'm forfeiting Thanksgiving and stuffing my face and getting a bigger ass, but so I can pull a boat for someone else. And his name on Instagram is Fly Curious.
Wow. No way.
Nice.
I swear.
Well, like if I were to come down there and the guys,
I thought y'all were gonna like that.
Yeah. No. I cracked up.
Stevie's looking them up now. If I were to come down there as like a new person to never fly fish, and I was looking for a guide to catch my first red, there's a whole other intimidation factor as well. Like where I would rather learn from you. I'd rather learn from somebody who doesn't have 20 years of testosterone and may not have the patience for a guy that's never touched a fly rod. Whereas just because it feels more comfortable for me, it always has to learn anything from a woman. So.
And I was in your shoes not that long ago, that feeling of frustration and not being able to cast or having all of those emotions that come with seeing a fish and having to get everything right to put the fly in front of the fish and get the fish to eat. All of those emotions are still very real to me, and I can relate to them. And so that's a good point. I'm I'm very much in tune with those feelings that you just spoke about.
Well,
So.
it can just be it can be intimidating. It really can. And I would rather have somebody on the boat teaching me that would be, like respectful and patient than to have somebody that's been in it for 20 years looking at me going, dude, why can't you get this? It's this simple. Look, but they know what to do. So,
Kacee, that's why Uncle Catfish and I are going up to ladies' bear camp.
Ladies' bear camp.
Yep.
They got to shave first, but
Yep.
yes.
Yeah.
Our legs.
Yeah. Michelle Harms is going to take us and teach us how to bear hunt, so that we're not in camp with 50 hardcore bear
Alpha
hunters
males.
that are
Yeah.
To play devil's advocate to Catfish's point, Kacee, I hope that this never actually comes out to be a problem for you. But there's actually a lot of guys who I think would be less willing to learn from a woman.
You're just playing devil's
That's
advocate.
funny you said that.
That's why I said I was playing
I'm
devil's
going to tell you why I don't agree with what you just said.
Get him, Kacee, because I do right
No,
now.
I hope you're right.
Go full Larry Dahlberg on him.
I started a year and a half ago a company called She on the Fly.
Okay.
And it's to promote women in fly fishing, to get women in fly fishing, to eliminate any kind of intimidation that women would have getting into the sport or being a part of the sport. And we've developed kind of this community. And I developed that prior to becoming a guide. And when I became a guide, I have not had one woman book me. Not
Really?
one. I am solely booked by men. And I don't think the men who book me have any issue sitting there going, I'm about to learn from a woman.
And just to clarify,
I really don't.
I love that that's the case. I was saying from the point of what Catfish was making, that there is the potential out there for douchebag guys to have that bravado to them that they wouldn't be willing to learn. I'm hoping that doesn't affect you.
You're
but
right.
It sounds like
There's
they're
going to be
all
misogynists out there.
Misogynist. No, and
I
Ryan
just visited one. Obviously, nobody around this table, and certainly anybody who's downloading our episodes and stuff, obviously, we wouldn't have any problem with that. I hope to one day be able to be on your boat, having you pull me around, take me into some of that skinny water, and catch
She
some
can
of those
pull
redfish.
you around, and then she can pull me around. Pull
It's perfect.
So, Kacee, could you tell us the story of the most memorable redfish catch you've ever had?
Yes, I can. Do you guys want to hear it?
I'd love
Absolutely.
to hear it.
I'm in. I'm all in.
That's a tall order there.
So it was my first trip that I was ever going to fish with another female. And it was with my friend Lizzie. She lives in South Padre, and I live up here, 3.5 hours away. My husband and I decided that we were going to trailer the boat down there so we could take this girl fishing. We get down there. She can't fish the first day we're down there, so we get some intel on where to go. And it was like the crappiest intel you could have had ever. Like, we didn't see a single redfish on this 3-hour pull that we did.
Wow.
Which is awful.
It was a 3-hour
that.
pull.
Nothing gets past
So-
you.
How did I miss that?
We're headed back to the boat ramp in South Padre, and I tell my husband, I'm like, that looks really fishy over there. And it's these coves, it's these skinny coves like along the highway in South Padre. Like, I was like, that looks super fishy. If I was a redfish, I'd go in there.
Oh,
So we ended up pulling into the first cove, and there was nothing. And my husband pulled into the second one, and this was the last one. Like, we were just over it. It was getting dark, and the sun was setting. And I looked over, and there was like this plastic bag-looking thing, and I was joking with him, and it was probably 60, 70 feet. I was like, hey, I want to see if I can make a cast to that bag. And he was like, go for it. Rolling his eyes like,
Get
okay.
you some.
You go right ahead and do that.
You go, girl.
It's really uneventful. If this is what we get to experience, then go right ahead. And so I made a cast directly on top of that pink plastic bag. I'm doing like quote unquote here.
We can see it.
The plastic bag ate my fly. And not only did it happen to be a really unique experience as far as like the Hail Mary at the end of the night, you got to believe in it, don't ever give up. But it was also my biggest redfish on fly. Oh, and it was 33 inches.
Whoa.
Yeah, that thing ate it. The bag.
I ate the bag?
Shocked.
No, the bag
wasn't a bag. It was a fish.
It was a fish.
Oh, I'm a little slow here. But
So
we're catching Special Steve up here.
The reason it looked pink is because it was bloody from being in a dolphin's mouth.
Whoa! But it was still hungry.
It was the dolphin. That's where I came up with the dolphin squeak toy.
No kidding.
It's the Terminator redfish.
And it got all hungry being prey.
Have you seen this boy?
Yes.
So, do you have pictures of that on your Instagram? I don't remember seeing that. You do.
It's the big fish.
Steve's like, there's not even a bag in this picture.
Yes, so there's no bag.
There was no.
I'm here scanning Instagram looking for this bag you caught. Like,
oh my god!
Is it like a grocery store bag?
It was a redfish.
That's amazing.
It was amazing.
We need to FedEx her a box of honey buns for moments like this.
Yeah.
Honey buns?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It always makes a day better.
It's a tradition of ours whenever something's amazing.
Yeah, if you think about your best day, at the end of it, you sit there and you reflect on the best day of your life while eating a honey bun. It just takes
it just got
next
better.
level.
Next level, way up over the top. Yeah.
We're honey bun
I'm going to do that next time.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. And take a picture, Instagram it. We'll feel really happy. And then we'll eat a honey bun.
And then we'll eat a honey bun.
Yeah, at the Instagram page.
We'll all eat honey buns.
It would be,
There's a lot of honey bun eating going on around this table. A lot.
We like to win.
We like to win. No,
we don't get tired of it.
I would be the only one that won a full blown marathon and what do you want to do? I'm not going to Disney World.
I'm going to Sheets.
I'm going to Sheets. Get me a honey bun.
Kacee, on your, I guess it's your left arm, you've got a pretty interesting tattoo.
Oh, I was going to ask her about the one on her leg. Wait, stop. I'm first. It looks like there is a pretty interesting tattoo on your lower right tib fib, on your lower right leg, on the front of it. I can't make out what it says. There's some the writing or some graphics.
Yeah, it's my grocery list.
No, that sounds like a vodka night. Like that's not right.
No, I'm serious. It is my grocery list. And it actually reads rice, eggs, carrots, beans, and fruit.
Sriracha.
And you tattooed that on yourself.
I did.
That's great.
I'm so glad I asked because I'm seriously going to go get honey buns, corn dogs, stromboli,
Yes.
monster.
Monster.
I'm going to go get a Kacee Bones matching tattoo on my right leg.
Oh my gosh.
Porter. That is amazing.
That's great.
I'm adding cotton
I have
candy
some
though.
other cool ones though.
And what is your favorite tattoo that you have?
It's my red. It sounds cliche for this podcast, but it is my redfish tattoo.
What's like your bucket list fish to catch on fly?
Ooh, right now I think it's tarpon. And the reason why is because I've traveled, I've spent a lot of money, a lot of time. I've put a lot of work into being able to catch these fish. And I've had some really close calls, but I still have not landed a tarpon on the fly. I went to Costa Rica for tarpon. I've been to the Keys for tarpon, and I just haven't been able to land one. Me and the tarpon kind of have this really odd relationship right now, and that's where I'm at with it. I think landing and putting my hands on a tarpon is my goal at the moment. I'm actually going to be fishing the ladies tarpon tournament in Isla Mirada, Florida this year. So.
No kidding.
Or next year.
Nice.
We were just there.
My husband and I fish there every year.
You do?
But this year I decided I was going to go ahead and do this competition thing.
So having said all that, like with She on the Fly, you also do like some like women's destination trips.
I do.
And I think, what is it, like a bonefish and tarpon are on the menu, right?
Bonefish, permit. There's some tarpon there in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
It's been weird, you know. I think men are a little bit more impulsive and more inclined to spend money on destination trips than women are, and I hope that changes soon. Because I will save up all my money, and I refuse to go to the mall, and I will use all my money to buy a destination trip somewhere so I can catch a fish.
Yeah. Well, I have to say this. Like, I know some of us are in our 40s, and I know my wife has a set of friends, and they get together every year. And I think that you can only go to so many spas, before that becomes boring. And I think that this is something that, as it becomes more well known, that women are absolutely going to gravitate towards. Again, you don't have to know a whole lot about fishing to have an opportunity to catch a fish. And I think it's wonderful that that you're
absolutely
on the ground. Maybe I don't know if it's on the ground floor or you're like
I think
pioneering. Trying to do this for a long time.
Yeah.
I just don't know how successful they've been.
Right. Well, I think we're tapping into that as a podcast. We've made a lot of friends over the past year that are female guides, and it's wonderful to see this kind of renaissance, and every one of them can hold their own. I mean, you just want
the best guides in the industry.
Yeah, you want to be at camp, you want to be fishing, you want to be with them because they're not your quote unquote typical girls, and I'm not, and that's not derogatory. It's like these girls. Really,
no, that's what's appealing.
Yeah, these girls really know their stuff, and some of them are yanking the biggest muskies out of routinely. Some of them are bear hunting. Like, it's incredible to kind of, and we're tapping into that. We recognize
one of them's
that.
killing Russian bears with sturgeons.
Yeah, it's
amazing.
It's extremely exciting
I
times.
want to meet her.
We can make that happen.
I want to meet her and be her friend. I want to do that.
That's Carrie Zilka. She's from Wisconsin.
She's hilarious.
Oh yeah, chuck that bugger.
Oh yeah,
she's great. She has a nice podcast as well.
I can't wait till you get 2, 3, 4 years into this, and you have some of these amazing, epic campfire stories from your boat that we can have you back on again one day and hear more of just some of your epic tales of being a guy.
Oh, I do have an amazing campfire story.
Oh, we got to hear it.
Lay it on us.
So I had these two very successful older gentlemen come in. They hired me as a guide, and they were wasted the entire 3 days that they were here, what it seemed like. So much so that the next morning they were still drunk when they woke up. So when I took them on the boat, it was like a liability. It was a problem. It was scary. As a guide and being so passionate about fly fishing like I am, it's hard to have clients that just come down and get drunk because I'm here to do something. I'm here to share something with you. It was almost kind of like this, well, you don't take me seriously kind of thing,
That's how you felt.
So I just ended up babysitting and getting wasted with them, And
I thought that was going another direction.
Seriously, well then hell, we'll come over and cook your steaks and make you dinner and babysit you, and you'll be just fine. And it's funny because the first night I actually invited them over for dinner, and they were great dinner guests. And so I sent them on their way after they had finished a bottle of whiskey with my husband. But hey, you show up here, you get drunk and you're hungover and you can't make it and you can't get up before 10 o'clock. We might as well just not even go.
Yeah, I probably regret that, I'm sure. I know I would if...
Well, I mean, you get near water, you're not thinking about fluids, you're not thinking about food. He's super hardcore fisherman, so he just can't focus.
You would be plying him with a drink just so you could roofie him to get him off the water.
So we've had a couple different guides on our podcast the past few months, and each of them had something special they cook for their clients or they had provided. And I see on your website for your guiding services that you provide lunch. Is there a special kick to your lunch?
Boar's head sandwiches.
What? Nice.
What?
I know. I go high end.
The roast beef?
Roast beef with Havarti cheese and lettuce and tomato.
What kind of bread?
And I offer, it depends on whatever they put on it that day, but I provide beers and Topo Chico, which is important for South Texas.
What's a Topo Chico?
Get out of here.
Does that cost $30 extra?
That's a small dog.
I had my Topo Chico groomed the other day.
That's a chupacabra's cousin.
Yeah, what's Topo? I'm not even saying it right now.
It's sparkling mineral water.
Oh, sounds delicious.
Sounds great.
We got to get a 6-pack of Topo Chico for the podcast room.
I think that if you can honestly pair that up with some sriracha mac and cheese, it'll be on. This has been great fun, and
that's an understatement, Will. It's been a great.
Kacee, thanks for tolerating
Kacee.
us.
This has been great.
This has been wonderful.
Of course, thank you. Thanks for having me.
My belly hurts because I've laughed. So I mean,
it's been a little while.
Yeah, it's fun. It's been a great
We
night.
had some good laughs.
Yeah.
I may have just found the person that I might actually go down and learn to fly fish from.
You should.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm waiting. You just let me know when.
Yeah, we gotta go. We're going north this year, so it might be the year after that. We're going to Canada this year. Texas sounds like it could be in the books.
It sure does.
Well, whenever you guys are ready, I'll head on down.
As long as you are paying for my pit beef barbecue with mac and cheese and sriracha, and if you don't have the money, it's okay. Get that friend of
Bring
yours
that buddy along.
Yeah, make sure that buddy's around.
Tell him you got a cool podcast crew coming down.
That's funny.
Kacee,
Thanks,
where can our listeners find you?
Flyfishgooseisland.com. We won't necessarily be fly fishing Goose Island, but that's where I live, and it's a very small community. So flyfishgooseisland.com, and or you can go to sheonthefly.com. It has information there too.
You on Instagram, Facebook?
I'm on Instagram at Kacee Bones, and I don't have any other Instagram accounts. But She on the Fly has an Instagram account, but I actually hired somebody to do that for me because I'm too busy.
You're too honest. Come on.
So,
perfect.
She on the Fly, and of course at Kacee Bones, and I have all of my website information up on my Instagram as well. So
cool, perfect. Hey,
and
thank
you.
you.
Get to keep up with all the fish I've been catching. So.
Right.
We can't thank you enough. Thanks for putting up with us clowns and jokers and telling us all about fly fish and redfish in South Texas.
It's awesome.
It's definitely been enlightening for me. I think Catfish is already on his phone looking for fly rods now. I thought this was just going to be a kind of a dry fly fish night, and
not at all.
It was not what was not what I read on the menu. So thank you very much. I've had a blast.
Awesome.
Thanks, Kacee.
Thanks, Kacee.
Of course. Thanks for having me, guys.
Holy cow, guys! My sides are hurting after that episode.
That was a fun one.
She's something else.
Yeah, and it's my perfect episode. I got to laugh a lot, but I also absorbed a lot in the old cranium.
Oh, yeah. A lot
That's
of information.
Fancy word for head.
Oh, thanks for clearing that up.
All right.
Thank you,
for
brother.
you, Stevie, after this
Thank you.
episode, dude, with the bag and all
We're doing a lot of
goodness.
that.
It must be Latin.
No, we're doing a lot of that Tex
Latin
talk,
doll.
right?
Yeah, and a lot of that Tex-Mex talk,
We'll call
too.
it the cabeza.
La Cabeza. How about it, Catfish?
Well, all this text talk's got me hankering for a Choco Taco. I think I'm going to eat another one.
There can't be many of them left in there.
Not after this
not
episode.
after
Guys, done tore them up.
Yeah. DK, how about you, bud? I mean, you're actually heading down there, so
Yeah, it's a great episode. That area is pretty cool. We have nothing to compare it with. Even the Susquehanna Flats.
Well, we don't because we weren't invited.
Yeah,
on the
this
trip.
is true.
Sorry. But this will be my third year going down there.
Oh,
Third year we weren't invited.
But
Are you taking your pontoon boat?
Oh no, airboats.
Bay boat.
Airboats.
Oh, it says airboat now.
Yeah.
He's going to pull that out of the garage.
No.
Get the dust off it.
The hunting guide will use an airboat, so it's pretty cool. But yeah, just a really neat area. Nothing like what we have around here, so it's good to get her on.
Very cool. Steve-O,
Yes, sir.
what's
going
new
on
with
with
you?
What's new with me? Very little's new with me.
Like you got a new car.
What?
Did I see a new Civic out there?
Oh yeah. No, that's not a Civic.
Is that your mother-in-law's car?
Well, come on
How
now.
dare you?
How dare you? It's
What
so
is it?
pretty. It's an Accord.
I was going to say, you better not have bought a Prius.
No, I drive a long ways to work every day. So
Tell us.
Staying economical.
economical is the way to go. So
Yeah.
it's not.
Plus that 7-foot Penn regiment, lays down in that.
It fits beautifully in there.
The Accord equips your rods a lot
Yeah, but-
better.
Oh yeah.
He had a Civic.
Okay.
It's
It's a major
Is it
upgrade.
like
You
a
were
foot
almost-
longer now?
Had to leave
Yeah.
the hatchback open.
You were almost touching the windshield with the
We
7
can
foot
totally
one
make a
piece
surf
rods.
fishing rod holder for the front of that.
Oh, we should.
Yeah, we
like
can,
the rack,
weld.
like the
Yeah, we can
Oh,
weld
yeah.
one.
grill
that would
rack.
look pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would.
We'll have to look into that a little.
And
bit.
some bullhorns.
That's kind of like some,
Bullhorns.
Texas bullhorn.
the Civic with the deer hoist or on the back. The guy. Have you seen that picture yet? Oh my gosh! I can see
Stevie,
that with
maybe,
the rods up front. It's just as good as the deer hanging off the back.
Put that on your list for Santa.
Yeah.
That'll be coming up for everybody here.
A rack for the front of the car.
Yeah.
and some bibs.
Yeah.
Everything's bigger
Oh.
in Texas, too. I wonder how big the ice cream sandwiches and Choco
They're
Tacos are in
probably like
Texas.
the size of a dinner plate.
Man, you really are hankering for a
Oh, yeah.
Choco
Yeah, yeah.
Taco.
Like a 3-pound ice cream sandwich.
It's awesome.
Everything's bigger in Texas, so I would expect.
I heard their rubber nickels are huge.
man. I don't know if I could handle them.
I got to, speaking of rubber nickels, this has no transition at all.
That's all right.
I got to
That's the new transition.
Bounce
There is
on
no
over.
speaking of rubber
Bounce
Bounce
on
this
over.
rubber
Bounce that rubber nickel on over.
And just a completely unrelated story. I got to shoot guns with Ryan and his son,
Oh yeah.
some other family members, and Uncle Buck. And I just had a genuinely good time. And I wanted to tell you, bud, good on you.
Yeah.
It was the first time like I saw Hunter in a different light. Before he's just a little tag along guy, kind of goes off, does his own thing when we're fishing and different things. But he's a very, very good marksman. Mm-hmm. And I mean, for his age and for I think that you've gone out of your way. And and why I say that is there's a plethora of guns to play with.
There certainly was.
Careful. He's getting ready to ask you to teach me now.
At Cornucopia. And I really think that I remember being young like that, and I didn't have what Hunter has. Uh-huh. And I mean, I had a 30 caliber, so 30-30 deer rifle, and I had 12 gauge shotgun, and I had a 22, but it was mostly I got banged around pretty bad, with those bigger guns. And it was very intimidating. And guns have always been intimidating. Not, you definitely learn to respect them right away. But, I think Hunter's on a different level than I was at that age because there's all kinds of guns that he can be, learn to respect and be comfortable around. And I just, like I said, initially, good on you.
And he was so much more proficient than if you'd said, "Hey, Buck, go get those guns ready." I'd have just stood there and stared at you.
Stammered.
Stammered.
Even.
I'd have stammered and had a seizure and stood there and just stared at you.
Everybody was taking their turn, and we were sighting in preparation for the upcoming rifle season. So, we had a reason to be there, but every time I looked over, he was getting something else ready. So he's loading like banana clips for the 22 that he wants to just do rapid fire, semi-automatic, just fun stuff with. It's like an AR style 22. Or he's actually loading the rounds in my actual AR, like the 223s, filling those clips up because he knew he wanted to shoot that. So he's like, well, if I load the clips up, that'll let me shoot it more. So, he was just prepping stuff. And
so Hunter's 12, right?
13.
So Hunter's 13.
Yep.
He's obviously been, around firearms his entire life. Has been, trained in the proper ways to take care of them, the proper ways to shoot them, the proper ways to store them. He knows his way around firearms because.
Well, there's definitely a lot of adults around. Nobody was like, untethered.
But I love the fact that we were all the entire group of adults that were there. We were all really quick to correct him when he was overconfident.
Yeah.
Because there were times when he's like, well, it's not loaded and it isn't, there's no clip anywhere near it. There's no bullets around the gun. So when I turn this way and the barrel swipes past everyone's head, immediately we're all like, we're correcting him.
Yeah.
Not scolding him or anything, but we're like, hey, watch where watch where the barrel is. Yeah. Always pay attention. It should be pointed down range. And we were really quick to correct his overconfidence.
Yeah, group effort. It was great. It was fun.
It was Guys' Day.
Right.
And even Brad had his son there who was what? How old is Liam?
He's 5.
Is Liam? Yeah, he's 5. And even Hunter took Hunter took that same role with Liam that the rest of us took with Hunter.
Yeah, he does a good job.
It was great just to see that whole
dynamic,
the role, how it just kind of filters down, and it's the same process.
Now, if he can only remember to take the key out of the UTV.
Jimmy's tractor.
Yeah. No.
I didn't have the chance. Now that you bring it up, Catfish, I'm a little sore about that. Right, Will? Will, tell the story because I get too upset about it.
I'm not going to go there.
I can't go there. You didn't get to drive the UTV?
No, he didn't get to.
Jimmy didn't let me ride on his lap.
All the boys got to ride Jimmy's tractor in his lap.
And I didn't get to.
But Jimmy has a tractor?
Yes, he has a gentleman's tractor. Let's call it that.
He has a tractor, but no pickup truck with a bed?
No, he's got a 250 or a 2500. He's got a huge pickup truck.
Oh, okay.
Jimmy does.
He's got
with a
gentleman's
6-foot
pickup
bed,
truck.
and he has a gentleman's tractor.
Don't see Jimmy driving that. I thought he'd driving a court.
But
he's got a field. He's got a. Yeah.
He didn't let me drive that tractor one bit, and I even asked.
Anyway.
Well, Will asked for me because I was a little embarrassed to ask.
Well, maybe that's why he didn't let you drive, bud.
Well, it sounds like a great time that you guys had shooting over Jim's place.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Absolutely. Where's I had a great time tonight talking to Kacee, and yeah, she seems really cool. I'm hoping you have a good time down there when you get down there, DK.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Steve.
Yes, sir.
When do we kick this pig? Where can they find us?
They can find us at RuttenRiverPursuits.com. Can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Just search Rutten River Pursuits Podcast or at R2 Pursuits. They can also download us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and CastBox.
Don't forget about YouTube now.
Oh yeah, DK's been killing it.
Yep.
On
Didn't I
YouTube.
say YouTube?
No, I don't think you did.
I think we repeated everything. You
I
said.
don't know. And don't forget to
love
follow
you
us all as individuals. You
What
won't
about
even get the side
giving us like a
stories.
5-star review on iTunes?
You know, it would be nice to get a
I
review.
think it'd be
At
pretty
least
cool.
the
Like,
4.6 would be good.
Yeah,
4.6.
give us a little review. Maybe Uncle Buck will read the comment.
Yeah,
That's-
you
I
can
would
win
love
a
to.
free Choco Taco.
There you go.
Yeah, give us a
Exactly.
review on iTunes while you're there. And, keep listening. A lot of folks have been listening in on Facebook, but don't just listen on Facebook. Download a podcast player or subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, and you will get the episode automatically delivered to you every week.
Thank you,
the best way
everyone.
to do it.
Hey,
Thank
don't
you,
be
everyone.
selfish and share our podcast to other people.
Share it.
Yep.
Share it.
All right, everyone.
See ya.
Later.
See you guys.
Bring them weedless.
Peace.
Get it out.
If we
Use
say
your words.
I may accidentally say fisherman, and I apologize.
That's totally cool.
Okay.
If you said fisherwoman, I'd be insulted.
Okay,
Very nice.
I don't want to. Perfect.
Fisher person.
So fisherman or angler, we'll
Fisherman's fine.
fisherman's fine.
Ang lady.
It means there's no disrespect meant there. At
No,
all.
it's fine.
Okay.
Or you could say fly guide, whatever.
Okay.
I
It's
like
all
fly
the
guide.
same.
I like
Fly girled.
We're coining all kinds of new phrases here. All right, Phil.